Currently, at the time of this video, you will find 59 different roller coasters in Florida, including some of the world's best and scariest ones. In this video, you will learn about the tallest ones in the Sunshine State. Plus, throughout the video, I'm also going to share with you some must-know recommendations that you must know before you visit the Florida theme parks. And then, later in the video, I will share with you my predictions on which park could build the tallest coaster in Florida in the future. Welcome to Theme Park Recommendations. My name is Brandon, and we are heading to Walt Disney World to start off this top 10. Standing at a height of 112 feet or 34 meters is Expedition Everest, which is located at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Whoever said that you cannot find any mountains in Florida? Because you can find a few over at Walt Disney World. The largest mountain at Disney World actually has a giant roller coaster inside of it, and opening up in 2006, Expedition Everest cost Disney over $100 million to build. And ever since this coaster opened up, it's easily become the best attraction that you're going to find at Animal Kingdom. Now, even though the mountain's around 200 feet tall, the tallest part of the actual coaster itself is only 112 feet. But when you're riding this coaster, you really feel like you're a lot taller due to the giant mountain that the ride's layout twists around. It is no secret that Expedition Everest is one of the most popular roller coasters that you're going to find at the 4 Walt Disney theme parks. And the main reason why is the total experience that the riders get while riding Expedition Everest. From the 80-foot drop to the enclosed portions of the ride, the theming, and the mid-course switch track section. Overall, Expedition Everest is hands down a fun coaster that everyone needs to experience for themselves. Number 9. With a height of 133 feet or 40 meters is Stardust Racers, which is going to be opening up at Universal's Epic Universe. And while this roller coaster is not officially open yet, and I do predict that the all-new Epic Universe theme park will be opening by May of 2025, there is one word that completely sums up just how awesome this roller coaster looks, and that would be epic. Stardust Racers looks like one giant roller coaster, but believe it or not, it's actually 2 different rides in one. And when it opens, this Mock Rides launch coaster looks like it could be a contender for the best overall roller coaster, and not only in Orlando, but also in the entire state of Florida. TPR tip. The opening year for Epic Universe is going to be a giant cluster, given its popularity, and it's the first new ground-up theme park to open up in Florida since Islands of Adventure in 1999. This is why I recommend visiting later in the year, maybe around November of 2025, when the buzz has died down a little bit for the new theme park. Number 8. Standing at a height of 140 feet or 42 meters is Manta, which is Florida's only flying coaster. Added to the park in 2009, this Bolliger Mabillard, better known as B&M flying coaster, has been thrilling riders ever since. From the moment that you walk into the queue line, you will be completely immersed in the world under the sea to really take in the life of beautiful manta rays. Throughout the 3,359-foot long coaster, you will encounter a great first drop, the very forceful pretzel loop to go along with 2 other inversions throughout the ride. TPR tip. I recommend riding Manta in the very last row of the train, and when you do, try to sit on an outside seat. By doing this, it's going to provide you with the best overall sensation going down the ride's first drop. Trust me, Manta in the back row is one of the best coaster experiences in all of Orlando. But what I love most about Manta, besides the first drop, is the splash effect that the coaster offers near the end of the ride. It's really cool just how close that you get to touching the water. Heading 72 miles down I-4 to Busch Gardens Tampa for number 7. And with a height of 143 feet or 43 meters, we have Kumba. This is the coaster that put Busch Gardens Tampa on the map when it opened in 1993. Kumba was a huge deal, and this 7 inversion coaster is still a great ride 30 plus years later. If you enjoy an intense roller coaster experience, then Kumba is the ride for you. I really do enjoy how the giant 114 foot tall vertical loop goes up and over and around the coaster's lift hill. Also, in my opinion, the placement of Kumba is just perfection. And do not sleep on the coaster's ending, because I love the little dive that takes you right into the tunnel. It is just fantastic. And then your Kumba experience ends with the ground-hugging helix into the final brake run. Up next at 149 feet, 45 meters, is number 6, Kraken, located at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, much like how Kumba impacted the future growth of Busch Gardens Tampa, when SeaWorld Orlando opened up Kraken in 2000, this monstrous of a coaster really skyrocketed the growth of this awesome park. Opening as Florida's only floorless coaster at the time, Kraken features 7 graceful inversions that give you great views of Mako, the park's tallest coaster. TPR tip: I recommend riding Kraken twice if you can. The front row is awesome for the visuals that you get while you're being twisted around in every imaginable direction, and then I recommend the back row so you get pulled down the coaster's first drop as well as through every inversion. Kraken has always been one of my favorite coasters in Orlando, and I love the views that you get of Central Florida once you reach the top of the 149-foot tall lift hill. Coming in at 150 feet, 45 meters, is Manu and Tigress. Now, both of these coasters can be found at Busch Gardens Tampa, and they would be the 5th tallest coaster that you're going to find in Florida. Opening 3 years after Kumba, Busch Gardens Tampa blessed us with Manta, arguably the world's best inverted roller coaster. This massive thrill coaster dominates the front of the park, and the way the park dug out the trenches for parts of the ride just adds to the overall experience. And just like Kumba, Manta is also going to flip you upside down 7 different times. But the best element that you will love when you ride Manta has to be the Batwing element. TPR tip: this element has to be experienced in the very back row. Seriously, it is just so good in the back row. Across the park, you will find the wild-looking Tigress, Busch Gardens' multi-launch coaster that also offers the tallest inversion on any roller coaster in Florida. That is because you slowly roll through the inline twist, the only inversion on Tigress at a max height of 150 feet. Tigress is an awesome coaster, and I cannot recommend riding it enough when you visit Busch Gardens Tampa. Number 4, clocking in at 155 feet or 47 meters, is Velocicoaster, located at Universal's Islands of Adventure. The world's best themed roller coaster delivers in every aspect that you could possibly want from a coaster. You have the theming everywhere you look, when riding or you're just watching it, and then all the rock work around you really makes Velocicoaster that much better. There is a reason why Velocicoaster is one of the best coasters in the entire world. And out of the 450 or so coasters that I've been on, Velocicoaster is my number 2. That is how good it is. TPR tip: I recommend planning your trip to Universal when the park is open later, so you can experience a night ride on Velocicoaster. Trust me, daytime rides are fantastic, but the nighttime ones are even better. Standing at a height of 167 feet tall, or 50 meters, is number 3, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, which towers over Universal Studios Florida. At the time of this video, there is so much uncertainty around the tallest roller coaster that you're going to find at Universal Orlando Resort. And the big question is, will it still be here by 2030, or will Universal replace the coaster with a better one? While not everyone enjoys this 3,800 foot long coaster, which offers a unique layout that weaves through the park's sound stages, overall, I think Rip Ride Rocket has a great layout. But I don't really care for the ride all that much, mainly due to the trains. Rip Ride Rocket is also the only vertical lift hill coaster in Florida and offers the only non-inverting loop in the entire state. TPR tip: my best advice is, the next time you're visiting Universal Studios Florida, be sure to catch a ride on Rocket, because who knows, that might be the last time you'll ever get to ride it. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then all I ask that you do is please give it a like. That is by far the best way you can help support my channel, Theme Park Recommendations. And if you love theme park content, then I hope that you consider becoming my newest subscriber. Now it's time to discuss Florida's 3 impressive coasters, all which stand at a height of 200 feet or taller. Number 2, standing at a height of 200 feet tall, or 61 meters, is Shikra at Busch Gardens Tampa and Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. Opening in 2005, Shikra has been the tallest coaster at Busch Gardens until 2022. This B&M dive coaster is a ride that you absolutely must ride. And when you do get to ride Shikra, you will enjoy taking in the amazing views of the 335-acre theme park way down below you. This view right here is just breathtaking, right before you tilt 90 degrees and free fall 200 feet all the way to the ground. Riders will experience 2 different 90-degree drops, 1 inversion, a great tunnel, and the famous water splashdown element. TPR tip, I really recommend trying to ride Shikra on an outside seat. Being located so far away from the track and riding this coaster is just a great sensation. Heading up to SeaWorld Orlando for what many call the best hypercoaster here in America. This is Mako, and if you love the feeling of floating out of your seat on a ride or getting ejected out of your seat, then you need to find your way over to SeaWorld to get a ride on this masterpiece. Mako offers a 200-foot tall drop, which results in the train reaching a maximum speed of 73 miles an hour. Mako is beautifully placed along the backside of SeaWorld Orlando and runs along the pond, making for this ride to be one of the best coasters that you'll ever get to experience. And then you're going to hit my favorite element on Mako, the speed hill. And the way the train just flies through this element is just a thing of beauty. TPR tip. When you visit SeaWorld Orlando, you have to try to at least get 2 rides on Mako. And do yourself a favor and sit in the very last row for the best seat and the very front row for the best visuals. And now it's time for not only the tallest roller coaster in Florida, but for the best one. With a staggering height of 206 feet or 62 meters is number 1, Iron Gwazi, located at Busch Gardens Tampa. If there is ever a perfect roller coaster ever built, then Iron Gwazi would be a part of that conversation. Originally opening in 1999 as the dueling wooden coaster called Gwazi. Then, after years of headaches, Busch Gardens Tampa called up Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC, to come in and work their magic, turning this giant pile of firewood into a top-notch steel coaster that offers 3 inversions, a 91-degree drop, the steepest in all of Florida, and 12 different airtime moments throughout the 4,075-foot-long hybrid coaster. There is a reason why Iron Gwazi is a ton of people's #1 roller coaster, including myself. That is how good it is, especially in the very last row. And you're going to love elements like the outward bank turn, the barrel roll down drop, and the famous wave turn. TPR tip. I know Busch Gardens Tampa is located around an hour and a half away from the other Florida theme parks, but this park really is awesome, and I cannot recommend adding it to your itinerary enough. With Iron Gwazi topping out at 206 feet tall, it begs the question, will we ever see a Florida park go higher, and which park could it be? And while I would love to see Epic Universe open up a taller coaster, I just don't see it happening. Therefore, I think Busch Gardens Tampa will be the park in Florida that goes taller if they're able to. As to how tall, lately there's been a lot of rumors around the park building a roller coaster that goes up to the height of 300 feet or even taller, which would easily become the tallest, longest, and fastest roller coaster in all of Florida if it ever gets built. Busch Gardens Tampa definitely has the room for a coaster of this magnitude, and we've seen the company spend a lot of money on roller coasters in the past. So I really do feel like this is possible, and if it does happen, then I predict it's going to get built by 2031. Now, if you're planning a trip to Universal and it's going to rain, then don't worry, because this video at the bottom of your screen is a must watch, because I share with you all the best things that you can do at Universal Orlando if it rains. So how many of the top 10 tallest roller coasters in Florida have you been on? Be sure to let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.